Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we have a new game out. It's in early access, or early release, or early access. Good lord, I already screwed up. I should start over, but I'm not going to. It's Ultimate General Civil War, the sequel to Ultimate General Gettysburg, a game I covered quite a bit of, what was it, 2014, the later half of 2014, as Ultimate General Gettysburg was going through early access, but now we have Ultimate General Civil War, the sequel to the game. It expands to beyond just the Battle of Gettysburg to cover numerous battles throughout Virginia, Maryland. It also has Gettysburg. It has the Battle of Shiloh in Tennessee. Quite a few different battles that are covered in this game. The game is currently in early access, so it is a limited release. Not all of the final battles are included. The real big granddaddy battles that are included in early release are early access are Antietam and Shiloh. But what I'm really going to be looking at here today, and maybe a bit more tomorrow as well, because I do plan to stream quite a bit tomorrow since I took the day off of work. I've got a few things to take care of, but I am going to be playing throughout the day tomorrow. And, what I'm going to be looking at here today is going to be the campaign element. So there is a custom battle, which I'm not quite sure if that's just a random map and a random battle. There is a historical battle option where if we take a look at that, you can see here you've got First Bull Run, Shiloh, Gaines Mill, Malvern Hill, Second Bull Run, and Antietam. But what we are going to look at here today is we are going to look at the campaign game and see what the game has in terms of campaign as it is in early access. The game is available on Steam for $29.99. It's a little bit more expensive than Gettysburg was. I think that was selling at $14.99, but remember, this is with the final release version, we'll have more than 50 battles, so a quite extensive effort, and just based on the menu screen, you can tell these things look almost hand-painted or hand-drawn, very well put together, aesthetically pleasing, and a nice style for the maps that you can see here. And from what I've seen so far, this is literally the first time I've turned the game on, but from what I've seen so far, that carries over into the gameplay as well. So go ahead and we'll check on campaign. Before I do get too far into it, is the music audio mix good, or do I need to turn it down a little bit more?
Against itself cannot stand. This government cannot endure permanently. Half slave and half free.
I rise, Mr. President, for the purpose of announcing to the Senate that I have satisfactory evidence that the
I like this
state
voice
has
acting.
by a solemn ordinance of her people and convention.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's this nice little audio overlay of some people, doing sort of the secessionary speeches, and Lincoln talking about. I assume that's Lincoln talking about how a house divided cannot stand. Definitely the production value on this seems much higher up front than Ultimate General Gettysburg did. But we can see here the beginning of the campaign. You always dreamed to become a military officer like your father. It was your destiny to serve your nation in the battlefield and become a war hero. So it looks like it's going to take you through some sort of kind of personalization of your general. You're a West Point Academy graduate. You can either be a tactician, a strategist, or logistician. Tactician, you've graduated from West Point Academy with specialization in tactics and learned that reconnaissance is key for preparing a flanking maneuver, increased army organization and reconnaissance. If you go with the strategist route, again, strategy specialization, and you get a perk for army organization and training. And if you're a logistician, then you get a bonus in army organization and logistics. I think I'm going to go with strategist. To me, actually, well, you get a boost in training, which I'm going to be playing as the Union, so that's going to be a bonus. So I like, this initial look of the game. You've got 3 paths to go down as you go through the campaign. You kind of create your own general, and look, you have to choose your experience, so you're either an artillerist, an infantryman, or a cavalryman. So you were an artillery officer that participated in the Northern Mexican campaign. If you go artillery, you get a bonus in logistics and medicine. If you go with infantry, then you fought at the Battle of Monterrey, distinguished for your successful leadership there. I think Monterrey was the big battle that happened, was it near Mexico City or was it on the Yucatan? But I believe that's Was that part? No, was Monterey... Do you guys know offhand? I'm not a huge Mexican-American war expert. I'm not sure if Monterey occurred in the north with General Taylor or if it was in the south with General Scott's flanking invasion that went toward Mexico City. But anyway, you're an infantry officer and you get a bonus in training and reconnaissance, or you can be a cavalry officer where you get a bonus in reconnaissance and logistics. I'm going to go infantry, so we're going to be old-school infantry. And you can see here the further career that you have after West Point or after your military experience. You either went into business and get a bonus in economy and logistics. You stayed in the Army, and you may have been appointed a militia governor in my state, or I went into politics. Well, political generals didn't tend to be very successful, although maybe I don't know what I don't know what any of these trade-offs are. I don't know what economy does. I don't know what logistics does. I can guess what logistics does. Not really any clue what economy does. Training and army organization are obviously good for fighting. Politics, I assume maybe it gets you more reinforcements or something like that, but I'm not really sure. Oh, okay. So if I hover over this, it does give you tooltips. So politics influences the amount of recruits and money you receive during the war. Being good in politics will certainly favor your army in the long term. Economy increases your level in economy, will reduce the cost of purchasing new weapons. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Obviously, training, I assume, will allow you to get troops at better quality as replacements. Army organization determines the maximum size of your army. So this is interesting. This is very much sounds like you're going to have carryover units and and more in the vein of like an RTS really than maybe a war game if the size of your force varies from what it was in history. And then we have the choice between Confederate and Union. I know what I want to do, but I'll be interested in hearing what you guys think. If you guys have any thoughts, post them in the chat. I am live streaming right now for those of you watching video on demand later. This was a live stream of my very first experience with Ultimate General Civil War. So why don't you guys go ahead and let me know, should I be Confederate or Union? I know what I'm probably going to do, but I'll let you guys vote. Okay, so far 3 votes for Union, 1 for Confederate. Make that 4 for Union, 1 for Confederate. Wow, overwhelming. All the Yankees are awake tonight. Only 2 votes for Rebels, guys. Sorry, I'm going to have to go with Union. I am from Wisconsin, so I'm partial to that. I will pretend we're the Iron Brigade. Army assignment. You can be a colonel. Understand that you don't have much experience, and this is why your enemies will have reduced strength, and you'll receive more recruits and gold. I can't frickin' speak. Okay, 25% gold recruits, negative 25% enemy strength, negative 25% reputation drop. I could be a confident general, and I don't need additional support or assistance of any kind. Big challenges await you as you're up for the fight. Or a major general. I'm a legendary general, and I've always wanted to battle against overwhelming odds. Well, I'm not going to go with that, because I wasn't great at Ultimate General in the first place. But I also don't want to steamroll the enemies, so I'm not going to go with Colonel. We're going to go the middle route. I guess we'll consider this normal difficulty. And enter my name. What should our name be, folks? Wow, we've got big perks on training. Nothing on medicine, economy, or politics that may come back to bite us. But damn, is our army going to be trained well. Oh, no. All right. We're going to name ourselves Thomas Hancock Grant. Thomas, named after General Thomas. I think it was the Rock of Chickamauga. Then we'll have Hancock after either William Winfield Scott or Winfield Scott Hancock. Take your pick. And Grant after Ulysses S. Grant. So Thomas Hancock Grant will be our general. Will be our name. It doesn't look like we get to really assign any further points here, so it's just kind of letting us know what our current setup is. I assume we could go back and change things if we wanted. We could use an advisor, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and begin, and hopefully things go well. Definitely Officer Blue Bloody. Okay, so our main objective is to secure this small town and its railroad station. All right. According to our scouts, the garrison should not exceed 3,000 soldiers. We must capture the town before rebel reinforcements arrive via railroads. This is obviously some sort of fictional scenario here. It's advised to use your vanguard to clear the town's perimeter from skirmishers or other threats. The rest of your forces are en route and will arrive from the southeast. Assault the town with all your forces are present. So this is really neat. Okay, you can see here if we just left-click and then right-click, we get the same sort of map, although maybe I should move some of these guys up here. And then we'll use these skirmishers to kind of flank around. We're going to use the skirmishers to kind of guard our forces' flank from surprise. I would not be surprised if there's rebels up here on these hills. Where are we shooting? Commander provides valuable command radius. Okay. So as I said, there are Confederates up here on the ridges overlooking. We need these guys to run, probably. How do I make them run? I don't know if we can shoot, like, up this cliff, but I'm guessing it wouldn't go very well anyway. Yeah, we hit 2 of them. So there's enemies all along this ridge line, which is not a surprise. Whoa! They're in behind us. Oh, God. I don't really want you to charge. I just want you to march over that way. So we'll kind of have our skirmishers try and drive these rebels back so they stop picking us off from altitude, because, again, obviously they have the height. So that's going to be very effective against us if they have, you know, if they're on higher ground shooting down, whereas we're shooting up a cliff. Meanwhile, you can see here the rebels do have some skirmishers in these woods. I'm moving the bulk of my brigade, Zook's brigade, over here to engage them. And you can see I'm a character on the map as well, which is very different from the original Ultimate General Gettysburg, where you didn't factor in at all. This is very much more an RPG type style right now. Okay, so it seems the enemy is... We'll kind of try and flush him out, but... I'm going to try and march Zook further out, maybe out of the range of these guys up on the cliff. Again, we got to get to this town, so capture Philippi. So this is the race of Philippi, the races of Philippi, which I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it was actually a battle fought in June of 1861, which saw a Union force drive back several Confederate regiments or brigades. It was a very small engagement in which the Federals, I believe, heavily outnumbered the Confederates and won with rather quite a bit of ease. The Confederates were disorganized. The Confederates were actually under the overall command of Robert E. Lee, not on the battlefield. He didn't command in the battlefield, but he commanded the department in Western Virginia. And it began his reputation prior to his taking command of the Army of Northern Virginia. It began his reputation as a disappointing general. Before he took command of the Army of Northern Virginia, many people don't know that Robert E. Lee was actually a pretty disappointing figure for the Confederates. People in Virginia had very high hopes for him. They thought he was letting them down. They thought he was underperforming, and he had a history of basically evacuating or losing territory in Western Virginia as he commanded that department. He had very little in the way of resources, manpower, anything like that. It really wasn't his fault that he failed to be successful. What's the map doing? Oh, reinforcements have arrived. Head to the town. So we've got 200 cavalrymen here, and we're going to go ahead and, you know, we could go right for the town, but we're going to, I don't know if we can really move our cavalry into the woods, but we're going to try and do that. And you can see here we've also got some infantry as well, so we're going to try and head for the town. Oh wow, quite a bit of troops coming up. So we can see here we'll advance toward the town. It also looks like we've got some artillery, so we'll try and... I'm not sure... Oh. Okay, so apparently tab shifts your camera angle quite a bit. Move this artillery up here, and it looks like we also have supply wagons. We don't want those to get captured. So I don't know if we can charge these guys. I know I'm not looking at what's going on with my other guys, but... Oh, wow, we can zoom out a lot. Anyway. Wow! I don't know what I'm doing with the map. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Bristow's charging into these rebs. And you can see here we're moving... Oh, there's a melee, and... just volleyed those guys. So we're tearing those skirmishers apart pretty well. Apparently I marched way far north all by myself, and our guys here in the south are still struggling to clear much. So definitely struggling a bit. This is the Battle of Philippi, you guys up here on the right. So this is the first engagement as the Union in the campaign, and it is Again, a historical battle which took place in Western Virginia. It was the first major, it was kind of termed the first major land engagement of the war. That's kind of what stands out about it, although there was very little actual fighting that occurred. These look like hills. I don't know what I can really see from here with my artillery, but we're just going to kind of have them sit up here. Not sure. Let's see here. Yeah. Whoops. So I don't see... Oh, there we go. So where does it give us the height map here? View mode, tab, mission info, mount, dismount, skirmisher, zoom out. Does anybody know if they've built in the ability to see the actual altitude of the ground? I don't see anything for that in the controls. Doesn't look like the M key brings up the topo map as far as I can tell. Oh, crap. I'm having cavalry charge. Apparently there's rebs in these buildings. 700 versus my 200 cavalry, so that's a mistake. Alright, these guys need to retreat. This artillery will fire, and hopefully... Okay, so our artillery is going to fire into the town there, and our cavalry is broken. I don't know if these guys saw something across the river. Can we... I don't want to do that. Well, actually, let's do that. How are these guys doing over here? So these guys are kind of holding our flank. I don't really know. I mean... This is kind of a clusterfuck. I will say, guys, this is... Major Elmer Stockton is killed. So Stockton, who was commanding one of our skirmishing regiments, okay, here, is killed. So apparently leaders can be killed. If a unit officer is killed or wounded, the unit suffers from severe penalties during battles. So read more on officers. You can click on that and it gives you some information, although nothing apparently comes up right now. Again, remember, the game is in early access, so... factor that in with your appraisal of the situation. We're going to gallop ourselves over here. As you can see here, our brigades on the right are definitely going... Why are they charging? I just wanted them to engage. These rebels in the town. I think I saw previews for this particular battle in the trailer, and I thought it was Fredericksburg, kind of the city engagement that occurred there with the river that runs through the town. But it looks like it's not. Interestingly here, we've got like a timer, I assume, up near the top, but it doesn't really look like it's moving. So the battle seemed to be much more slow pace as well than in the original Ultimate General Gettysburg. So I think that's, I'm kind of torn. One thing I liked about Ultimate General Gettysburg was the really quick way you could turn a scenario around and play it very quickly, and then kind of just play through a battle one chunk at a time. My understanding is this Ultimate General game battles are more often than not single phase, with a few exceptions like Shiloh's, kind of what I've read. Whereas, in the other game, it was all like a bunch of scenarios that were multi-phased, because that was the whole sort of concept. So enemy artillery firing on us. Looks like from over here. I'm assuming that's what the little cannonball icon represents. And you can see these rebels are in some high ground. Looks like it's almost earthworks or something. On the opposite side of on the opposite bank of the river. Where the hell is our other brigade? I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm sorry. I'm doing a horrible job right now, marching these guys around like a fool. Stockton's brigade or skirmishers are over here somewhere. Okay, so you can see here there's some rebels, some 180 men. We've lost 10 killed. Okay, so if you look on the left side of the screen here, you can... Oh, these guys reformed. Is our artillery still firing? Do we need to move these guys to a better line of sight? I don't know if they can see. Yeah, can these guys... I'd like these guys to fire, but it looks like... I'm assuming the town is in the way. So we'll move them a bit. In the original... What am I talking about? Stop. Shoot. What are you doing? Holy cow, that was a volley from like point-blank range. And we just routed them again. Hopefully they don't reform quite so quickly. Maybe we can charge into them and just decimate them. No, they're running away faster than we can. Okay, don't let yourself get flanked. How did they reform that quick? That is not routed. Every time I see... Oh, shit. Skirmishers are in behind us. Oh, my God. They just beat up that battery of ours. Very strong tactical choice to clear an area from enemies due to the melee bonuses. Charge also spends more condition than other actions. Okay. So basically you wear your troops out. I assume condition is... Well, no, condition is... I assume how worn out they are. So uses your condition up a lot if you charge really quick, obviously, and... but it also can be a powerful bonus. Now, generally cavalry charges didn't work all that well during the Civil War, but it's interesting because we're fighting, and I don't know if there's friendly fire from our canister firing into these guys, but generally, you know, it wouldn't be that effective except for perhaps the fact that you're talking about small units. So we can see we've got a brigade coming in behind the Confederates here. Looks like these guys are... Their morale is okay. Their rear is flanked by these guys over here, so this is not a good tactical situation to be in, but the rebels are about to be flanked as well, so these guys are exhausted, their condition's down to 0, basically. They're probably about to break, but we can come in behind these rebs and hopefully break them. It's amazing how quickly they reformed, though. There you go, and supposedly we routed them again. Hopefully they have nowhere to run. Okay, I don't think the unit speed's faster in this, honestly, guys. I really don't. At least that's not the sense I get. Alright, let's move these guys. Oh, sweet. So if you right-click and you can kind of drag around to control the facing of the unit, which is nice. God damn it. So we've got skirmishers that are harassing our guns, and they're doing some damage. You can see here they took out about a third of one of the batteries, and a couple of men in the other battery. They started at 150. But trying to use this cavalry here to deal with them, there's just too many of them, and our other skirmishers are kind of busy. I guess we can send these guys back. Stockton's men are kind of sitting over here. I'm just mainly using them to kind of protect this road. I don't know if any more reinforcements will come up or not. And look, these guys already reformed again. This is crazy. These guys are exhausted. You can see the conditions down to 0. So you get some information on the left side of the screen here. You've got the number of soldiers, the number of kills they've inflicted, the number of deaths they've taken. Looks like there's an ammunition situation here. You've got a reloading timer, how long it takes till they reload. You've got the total number of amount of ammo they have, their morale, which obviously influences how much they'll stand up and fight against. And then you've got their cover as well. Again, these guys are flanked yet again. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these guys forward quickly, hopefully, before the enemy can get off too much more in the way of any volleys. I don't know what I did with my supply wagon. I think I might have gotten that captured by being an idiot. But damn, are these rebel skirmishers tenacious. They just won't... Oh, no, I got my supply over here. So I may need to bring that up as these units start to burn through their supply. You can see they're about halfway done. Whoa, whoops, stay. They're about halfway done with their ammo, at least that brigade is. So I'll start bringing that wagon up. I just mainly want to keep it out of the reach of these rebels. You can see they're retreating towards the town. You can see McHenry's brigade is literally going to disintegrate into nothing, it looks like, before they do anything. I don't really want to charge across these bridges. It's almost like a Burnside Bridge scenario at Antietam, where you've got this narrow bridge and these sharpshooters on the other side shooting at us, and we're just kind of trading volleys across the river. These guys seem to be holding pretty strong and not losing too many men. Our men are also behind some cover. You can see these guys are behind what looks like a fence, and it doesn't seem to factor too much into their cover, interestingly enough. And then we've got some artillery shooting at us as well. We need to get our guns in the action. It doesn't look like they're really... Well, it does look like our guns are doing something. At least that gun is. So I'm going to move these guys. Hopefully the enemy doesn't come at us again. This bridge, they could come across this bridge and hit our our artillery, but I'm going to hope the AI isn't quite that aggressive. And geez, this brigade's down to 160 men! I'd charge them, but based on what was going on before, they'll probably run away before we can get there, so I guess I'll just let Zook's 800 men slowly batter him to death, and then we can turn these guys on law and hopefully push him back. Again, it looks like it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon on June 1st of 1861. Mission time, I don't know if this is 3 minutes and... Oh, we have 3 minutes and 10 seconds left. Shit. I don't know what this bar means here, then. Maybe it's victory points? We're going to need to get more aggressive here. We can't just slowly batter him to death. Wait for him to fire off one more volley and then we'll go. Okay. Both of these guys are pretty much exhausted. So that'll probably factor into their ability to melee. Okay, so they're charging across the bridge into enemy fire. Looks like we destroyed them, or, you know, did away with the bulk of them. Okay, so we routed these rebels. So we're pushing them back. That's good. We're moving into the town. We'll ride ourselves up. I don't know if we can die. Hopefully this artillery looks like it can fire from over there. At least it's got the little red arrow, which to me, you know, means that's who they're targeting. These guys are low on ammo, so let's get that supply wagon up to them. On the double. Your units almost don't have ammo. Yeah, I realize that. Okay, so ammunition does need to be replenished. These guys are low. These other guys, they're doing okay. I don't want to double quick them because they don't have much in the way of energy, but I really need to send Loomis into the town. I assume these are different defensive points. So you've got all these different shield icons in the town, and then you've kind of got the center of the town. Oh shit. They're not going to be able to charge those. I'm hearing a lot of people saying retreat. I got a bad feeling about this battle. We don't have that much time left. Okay. Guys, sorry I'm not paying a ton of attention to the chat right now. I will pay more attention once I kind of get between battles. So I can see here the wagon is resupplying our troops. Looks like anyone inside the supply radius of the wagon gets resupplied. So this brigade is beating this artillery battery. It's not quite 2 minutes and 46 seconds, so it's not quite real time. I'm not sure what that counter exactly means. Bring Zook up. Guess we'll just bring the supply wagon across the bridge, because he can actually resupply. It looks like he can resupply troops in combat as well, which is kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of, actually, in the Battle of Gettysburg, there was a situation where, I think it was the Iron Brigade, one of the regiments was very low on ammunition, and they were in the midst of a firefight, and they weren't able to be extracted. They weren't able to be pulled back to friendly lines in order to allow them to resupply. So you actually had a wagon that was riding behind the line under fire, tossing boxes of ammo out of it to the troops so they could reload while they continued to fight. So I don't know what this is. If this is a supply... Actually, that's a supply wagon. If we look at our little icon here for supply, these 3 cannonballs, looks like there's an enemy supply wagon up here, which maybe we can capture. Our men are kind of spent. You can see the exhausted icon keeps coming up. So I don't know if we can move that way and go get it. Looks like our troops are mostly back in supply, though. The supply icon's all the way to the right. This guy's mostly there, and the other guy... Okay. Meanwhile, the supply wagon does appear to run out of supply as well itself. We're going to move Hancock the Great up. I've been told you can die as a general. You can see our artillery is actually almost out of ammo as well. So I think we'll send this back here to resupply these guys now that we got our infantry resupplied. You can see our artillery is firing on the enemy. We got line of sight, so they are doing some damage there. So Philippi is now contested. You've got some 1,300 rebels there. We're flanked. Where are we getting hit from? It says flanked. I don't see where we... Are they running across the river to get behind us? Oh, I didn't tell the... Damn it. So it looks like they may be moving against our artillery, so maybe I won't send that over here. In fact, we'll send these guns over here. Because it looks like they were marching one of their brigades across, maybe to take our unsupported artillery, I'm not sure. Maybe to get in behind us, but there aren't any objectives behind us, so I'm not sure what they'd be going for. We'll move our skirmishers up into the town as well as some cavalry to buy some time if they do try and go for our artillery. It does look like we now have, you can see the little Union flag here, so I believe we have the town. I'm not sure where they're flanked from, unless it's probably the artillery over here. So I don't know if this means we took their base of supply. I assume this is a base of theirs, so by taking this little area, it turns blue, so by the looks of it, I suppose we took their supply. Not quite sure. The game's not doing as good of a job as communicating what's happening as I would like. You can see here, let's charge these guns. Oh, we just wiped out that battery. Oh, they ceased to exist. I assume when the flag goes away, it means they're like beyond redeeming and the unit's completely ineffective. You can see, I wish I could zoom in more. That'd be really nice, but I can't. But you can see these guns are just left abandoned and these men are running for their lives. Then we've got Law's brigade here, so I assume if we push Law back, then the town is ours. Alright folks, that's going to just about do it for this video. This is from a live stream from the very first day that Ultimate General Civil War came out. It's certainly showing that I'm very rough with the game and not great at it. That will continue to bear itself out in future videos. I don't know if I'll show the rest of this campaign with my player just because things don't go well. But this is actually the halfway point in the initial battle, the initial campaign battle of Philippi. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to split this in half because it was a 3.5 hour stream and generally 30 minutes is about what I do for my videos. So I'll split this video in half. I'll definitely post the second half of the Battle of Philippi and then we'll see what we do with the last 2 hours of the footage. But hope you guys enjoyed. This is just kind of my initial first take, literally the first time I turned the game on. So let me know your thoughts. But with that being said, guys, I appreciate you tuning in, and until tomorrow probably, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.